Go ahead and give me your one-word reaction to Michigan defensive coordinator, now former Michigan defensive coordinator, Don Brown, being fired Tuesday afternoon. Go down in the comments. I'll pin this comment down below. I want to know from you guys your one-word reaction from Don Brown being dismissed from the Michigan football team. And let me know down below. We're going to get into some rumors on Jay Harbaugh, Ben McDaniels, and the Jim Harbaugh contract fiasco at this point. All coming up in the Michigan Football Report right now. Welcome into the show today. As always, I am your host, James Yoder, here in the Michigan Football Report from Chat Sports. I've got several rumors that have kind of exploded all afternoon, and I want to kind of get into them here late on a Tuesday night. So, walk you through these rumors. The first one is that recruits are pissed off. I'm giving it 4 Harbaugh heads. That's an FACK fact, and we're just going to kind of have to show you what I mean by that, because you had 2 defensive recruits leave the decommit on signing day, right? 2 highly ranked defensive recruits decommit on signing day. Then you've got Junior Colston, who is a very highly rated linebacker out of the state of Tennessee, tells the Free Press's Orion Sang, basically, he's not pleased with Don Brown being fired. He didn't know anything about it. He just found out today, but he's already signed, so there's nothing I can do about it. Well, if he made enough of a stink about it and he really wanted to get out of that letter of intent, I bet Michigan, because of PR and all that stuff, I bet they'd let him out of it. So, Junior Colston upset about it, and there are several other recruits. You've seen what it's done to the recruiting class. You've seen at least one recruit speak out, and he's not the only one. Believe me on that. There are quite a few defensive recruits, especially the guys in the Northeast. Look at the last 2 classes, the 2020 class, the 2021 class. Take a look at the guys from Massachusetts, from Connecticut, from Maine, from even Maryland, etc., that were all responsible for coming to Michigan via Don Brown. They are not happy, quite a few of them, and I don't blame them in some regards, because it happened less than a week after signing day. But in other, I guess, considerations, you shouldn't commit to a school for a defensive coordinator. That's at least my opinion on that one. So, Junior Colston mad. Michigan lost 2 defensive recruits, 4 Harbaugh heads. That means it is an FACK fact. If you haven't heard our Harbaugh head rumor, round up the rumor meter. I'm going to let you know what it is right now. 0 Harbaugh heads. That means it's totally false. Fake news! 1 Harbaugh head means a small shred of truth. 2 Harbaugh heads means people are talking straight in the rumor category. 3 Harbaugh heads means it's pretty likely. And if it's 4 Harbaugh heads, that means it's an FACK fact. That's how Jim Harbaugh spells it. That's how we spell it here at the Michigan Football Report. And while you guys are here, I want to make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. I've gotten hundreds and hundreds of you guys following me on Twitter from the show on YouTube over to Twitter. Just make sure you let me know. Tweet at me. Say, James, I'm an MFer, MFR, Michigan Football Report. If you watch the show, if you like what you see, you're an MFer. Tweet at me. I'm following back for the rest of the year, so make sure you do. I'll retweet you. You see my timeline. I've been retweeting anybody and everybody who tells me that they are an MFer, at James Yoder on Twitter. Next rumor up. Ben McDaniels is being dismissed. All right, I've got 3 Harbaugh heads on this one. Now, who is Ben McDaniels? If you don't follow this very closely, he's been with Michigan for 3 years. He is the quarterbacks coach. He was the quarterbacks coach in the 2019 season with Shea Patterson, the 2020 season, with Joe Milton, and I guess with Cade McNamara a little bit there. He was an offensive analyst in 2018, but the quarterback position has regressed under Ben McDaniels, and there is a lot of reporting, from enough credible sources, that I'm willing to give this 3 Harbaugh heads. Pretty likely that this is going down, that he will be eliminated. His contract's up in a few weeks on January 11th. He will no longer be a part of this staff. So 3 Harbaugh heads on that one. And look, the quarterback play has just been bad under Ben McDaniels, right? No matter what you want to call it this year, coronavirus, no spring practice, Joe Milton sucked after that first game, right? And Cade McNamara was good for 2.5 quarters. And then his second game Well, he sucked too, right? Let's not put lipstick on a pig. And Shea Patterson, it took him 7 games under Ben McDaniels' quarterback tutelage last year to get back to any semblance of a high-level quarterback that he was in 2018 when he rattled off 10 straight wins, got Michigan a number 4 ranking in the country going into Columbus in the final game of the year. So if you're not going to develop a 5-star talent like Shea Patterson, you can't develop, Joe Milton. You make Dylan McCaffrey leave the program, apparently, or you make a choice and that results in leave the program, and you've got a 5-star quarterback coming in, J.J. McCarthy. I think it's the right move for Jim Harbaugh to make, but here's a little nugget. There's some credible information out there that says if Jim Harbaugh, this all relies on the fact that we assume Jim Harbaugh is coming back, which we're going to talk about here in just a second, so wait for that. But the story that's out there right now, the whispers on the internet that I have yet to confirm, is that Jim Harbaugh himself intends to be the quarterback coach with J.J. McCarthy and Cade McNamara battling for the job next year. Don't expect Joe Milton to be back in the program. If he is, it'll be in a second or backup or a third string role. So Ben McDaniels, that should be announced here in the next matter of days, maybe within hours after us releasing this video, that he's going to be released from his from the program. They'll let his contract play out. He was set to expire. He had a 2-year deal that expires on January 11th. But the real story here is that Jim Harbaugh may be the next quarterback coach at the University of Michigan. While you guys are here, though, make sure you subscribe. We are just a smidge, like 40 or 30 away, like 29 away from 12,000 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe if you like what you see, if you like raw, unedited, and informative Michigan football news and rumors all off season long into the 2021 season on coaching, recruiting, spring practice. This is the spot for you, the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports, youtube.com/Michigan TV, or just scroll below the video, hit that big red subscribe button. Another little nugget here, all right? Didn't put this in the rumor roundup, but I want to say it. There's also some credible information out there that Jay Harbaugh, Michigan's running backs coach, will be reassigned, will go into a special teams role, and will not coach a position under his dad if he returns as a coach at all. I guess if both Harbaughs return, Jay Harbaugh no longer going to be the running backs coach. Keep an eye out for Mike Hart, right? Indiana's running back coach, loves Michigan, kind of behind Jim Harbaugh. He might be Mr. Michigan of a new generation, the guy who kind of embodies the program the most from an alumni perspective. So keep an eye out for Mike Hart. Jay Harbaugh won't be Michigan's running backs coach from what we have heard. Also, a little nugget, don't expect Zach Charbonnet to return to the program. I'm not going to put that in the description or the thumbnail on this. Don't expect Zach Charbonnet to be returning to this program in 2021. Ask you guys this question, though. Will Jim Harbaugh return to the program, right? Will he coach Michigan in 2021? Go down in the comments. I would like to see as many Y's and as many N's as possible because I really want to hear what you guys think because we're all just sitting here waiting, right? We're all sitting here waiting to figure out what Jim Harbaugh is going to do, which I'll talk about here in a moment. So type Y for yes if you think he'll return to the coach. Type N for no. All right, so here's the juicy part of the show, right? I have talked to enough people, gathered enough information, connected enough dots that I really think I have a good understanding of what's going on here. So I'm putting Jim Harbaugh playing chicken, 3 Harbaugh heads. Not going to put 4 because you never know with these things sometimes. Pretty likely that here is what's going on. That Harbaugh is playing chicken. So I'm going to talk you through that timeline I went through this morning, this afternoon when we broke the Don Brown news. Jim Harbaugh had a verbal agreement with his friend Warde Manuel, a guy he came up together in the Michigan football program. They were teammates, all this different stuff. And it was probably similar money for a 4 or 5 year extension, right? Would have kept Harbaugh as Michigan's coach through 2024, 2025, whatever it was. That was towards the end of last season into the first part of the 2020 year. Then coronavirus hits. We don't need we got bigger fish to fry. Are we going to have a football season? Are we going to have a country? What's going to happen? We don't know what coronavirus is. We got lockdowns. Okay, cool. Well, season started. Okay, we'll get that deal done, Jim, as soon as the season starts. Yeah, then 2-4 happens. Then disastrous season and an irate, pissed off fan base. Then your underdogs Ohio State by 5 touchdowns, right? And what I think actually happened is in their limited meetings over the past 3 or 4 weeks, a contract was offered to Jim Harbaugh instead of Layton potentially, maybe down to $5 million a year, down from the 80s at, and it probably had a few clauses in there like $1 million for Big Ten champs. $500,000 for Big Ten East champs. I doubt they put an actual Ohio State clause. I bet they put Big Ten East champs, $500,000. $1 million for Big Ten champions. $1 million for a New Year's Six Bowl. $1 million for a college football playoff bowl. Something like that. $500,000 for one of those. Whatever it is, if you accomplish all those things, you get back up to $8 or $9 million, the highest paid coach in college football. But when they come back, Jim Harbaugh's like, well, Warde, my friend for 35 years, you can't do that to me. We had a deal. Well, Jim, things have changed. Well, not the way I do it. That's cool. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to go on vacation for Christmas, see my family. I'll be back next year. Which, Jim, you can't come back next year. Yes, I can. I'm the coach here. I have a year left on my contract. I don't think so. And I think what Jim Harbaugh is doing here, I think literally that is kind of not verbatim necessarily. That is the context of the conversations that Harbaugh said, not interested in that deal, but I am interested in being the coach here. So I'm back. I'm going to coach my deal out. We'll keep talking about it. If I have a big-time season next year, you can offer me $9 million. If I have a bad season, we'll see who offers there. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to let that play out. I mean, he's not going to do anything until probably about 2 weeks from now, a couple days after the NFL season's offer out. He's going to wait and see if any NFL teams offer him a contract. If they do, he has a little bit of leverage to get that $7-8 million a year deal left. If they don't, I think he will intend to come back to Michigan, coach out the deal, but knowing that Michigan's going to do that, he's going to call their bluff. Either they will fire him and pay him $8 million to do nothing for a year, and then he'll get another job potentially if he wants to, or they'll offer him the deal, that they probably did, which is probably like a 4-year extension, somewhere in the range of $30 million over 4 years. So we'll see what happens. I don't think this 3-year extension at $5 million with a really low buyout is going to be on the cards. I think Jim Harbaugh, he probably would take it if it was his idea, but I think he feels slighted a little bit that it wasn't his idea, and a handshake deal was, coaches coach all the time without written contracts. I think Harbaugh thinks he had a written contract. Didn't happen. And so I think we're going to be in limbo for the next 2 weeks, right up until, I guess, what's the last day of the NFL season? January 1st? What is it? January 3rd? Yeah, so January 4th, January 5th. We might be in limbo to then. You never know what's going to happen. But that is what I expect to see out there. Don Brown being fired. Maybe that signals Harbaugh's going to be back. Maybe he's playing chicken with Warde Manuel a little bit too. Like, hey, I told you I'm coming back. I'm hiring a new defensive coordinator, and I'm going to do a 2-year contract, so you have to pay him a buyout, even if you don't have to pay me a buyout. It's a real game of chicken right now that's going on with Michigan football. I think it all comes down to someone's word, handshake agreement broken, and coronavirus blamed on that. That's the show for us today, folks. Thanks so much for watching. 2 in 1 day. You guys are so lucky to have that much of me. But make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And if you missed my Don Brown firing video, I got that for you right here. And if you missed my video from a couple days ago, I got another one for you right here. Until next time, go Blue.